All right, class. So today is Wednesday, and we already wrote what we're going to be doing today. Just don't forget that there's a homework help video for Wednesday night's homework. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do the warm up first. Okay. So here's the warm up. We're gonna skip this one because we don't. I didn't issue you graph paper, so I'm gonna skip that one. You have to have graph paper to solve that. All right, so let's look at this one, and I might go back and do that later with you. So let's find the area of the triangle. Okay, first and foremost, the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. That's the formula for area of a triangle. Okay, so you need to know the length of this base that you don't have. This is what's missing. So before you can find, you have the height, but you don't have the base. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing measurement. We have our A, we don't have B, and we have our C, the side opposite of the right angle. So let's substitute all the information we have to find the information that is missing. So our A is 5, so this is 5 squared plus B is missing is equal to 13 squared. Okay? All right. So here we got 25 plus b squared is equal to 169. Okay. So now we're going to subtract. I'm going to subtract 25 on both sides. So this is going to give me b squared is equal to, and this is going to give me 144. Okay. So we're going to find the square root on both sides. So the square root of 144 is 12. So b here is equal to 12. So this side is 12. Your base is 12. So now let's substitute. Okay, let's substitute. Let's put b is equal to 12 here. All right, so when we substitute, we got a is equal to 1/2 times the base of the triangle is 12 times the height is 5. So let's multiply all three numbers together. Let's do the first two. Half of 12 is 6. Then we got times 5. Then 6 times 5 is 30. So this is going to be 30 inches to the second power. And that's our answer for the warm up. Okay? That's the answer for the warm up. All right. A triangle has side measurements. The triangle has side measurements of 15, 20, and we don't have a, well, let's see if we can try to graph this. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is this point, -3 and up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. So we're finding the distance from here to here. Okay. All right. So use the grid lines to draw a right triangle. So we're going to use this grid line here and this one going up here. So this is a right triangle. So this is going from here all the way up to here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6 units here. From here to here is 6. And from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 units. Okay, this is 8. So this is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this is my a, this is my b, and c is the side that's missing. So my a is 6, so that's 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. So 6 is 36 plus 64 is equal to c squared. So this is going to be 100. Okay? So you're going to find the square root on both sides. The square root of 100 is 10. So c is equal to 10. Okay? All right, let's look at this one. A triangle has side measurements of 15, 20, and 25. So I'm going to draw a triangle. Okay? So 15 is the smaller one, then 20, and then 25 is the longer one. That's your side C. Okay? Is this a right triangle? So let's see if it's a right triangle. This is A, this would be B, and this would be C. We don't know if it's right yet. So let's use Pythagorean theorem to see if it is actually a right triangle. So 15 squared plus 20 squared, and let's see if it equals to 25 squared. All right. I'm going to use the calculator on this. So we got 15 squared, which is 225. If you're not sure, you type it in. And 20 squared, which is 400. Okay. And 25 squared, which is 625. All right. So let's add this together. This is 625 on this side, right? When you add it. And this is already equal to 625. Is this true? Yes, it's true. So guess what? This is a right triangle. This is a right triangle. Yes, this is a right triangle. Okay. All right. So you can pause the video anywhere you want. If you need to go back and rewind and watch it again, please do that. So now we are going to do some notes in our we're going to do, well, actually, we're going to do word problems first, okay? We're going to do word problems. Pause for the calls. Okay, so these are the word problems that we're gonna do. This is page 14. Once we finish, you're gonna paste this in your notebook on page 14. Let me see if I can get it a little clearer. Okay, so some of these I'm gonna do, and then the rest of them I want you doing your own, okay? All right, the rest I want you doing your own. So number one, it says to get from point A to point B, this is point A in the picture, this is point B. You must avoid walking through the pond. To avoid walking through the pond, you must work 30 meters. So to go this way and then go this way. So 34 meters this way and then 41 meters this way. Okay. So it's 34 meters south, that's down. North is up, south is down. And then east, like you're going to from California to North Carolina, that's east. North Carolina is east on the map. So you're going to the right. Okay, that's east. Right is east. All right. So it says to the nearest meter, how many meters would you save possible if you could walk through the pond? So how many meters would you save? So let's add these together and then find this to see how much you would save if you went this way. So when I add these two together, I say 41 meters plus the 34 meters. This is 5. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So it's a total of 75 meters if I go this way. So how much is it this way? So let's do Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared to figure out this length here. Okay, because I got this length because I have to go this way. But if I could cut across that pond, let's see how much I would save. So A is 34. B is 41. Don't forget the plus. So I'm going to do this calculation for you, okay? So we're going to do 34 squared, which is 1,156, plus 41 squared, which is 1,681. Okay? So let's add those together. We got plus, we're going to add the two together. All right, so this gives us 2,837 c squared. To solve for c, you're going to find a square root on both sides. Okay, so let's do second. We're going to do square root. Remember, you can use your phone. If you turn your phone sideways, when you go to your calculator, if you turn your phone sideways, then you'll see the square root symbol. Okay. So if you need to pull out your phone and do some of these calculations, you can. Okay, you're probably going to need to if you don't have access to a calculator. So this is 2837. Okay, and that's about 53.3. Okay, 53.3. So it's 53. This is going to be 53.3. So see here is about 53.3. So what's the difference? So subtract them to see how much meters you save. Okay. So we have 75 minus 53.3. So in the calculator, 75 minus 53.3. And that's about 21.7. So you're going to save 21.7 meters, okay? All right. Let's look at number 2. A baseball diamond, okay, is a square. So we got a diamond that's a sideways square, basically, like this, okay? And the sides are 90. So this is 90, 90. If it's a square, all the sides are 90, okay? These, of course, are right angles. All of these are right angles, okay? So this is your home plate, first base, second base, third base, okay? It says, what is the shortest distance to the nearest tenth? So we're rounding it one space behind the decimal between first base, this is first base, and third. So this is the length you're trying to find here. So this is a right angle right here, right? So 90 and 90. This is A, this is B. So we got A squared plus B squared equals C squared because it's the triangle. This is the slanted side. So we got 90. Hold on just one moment, okay? Somebody's at my door. All right, so we're going to substitute 90, okay? So we got 90 squared plus 90 squared is equal to C squared. So let's do 90. When you do square 90, that's, look, 8,100. 8,100 plus 8,100. So you're going to add those together, right? Plus 8,100. Okay? So that gives you 16,200. So now how do you find C? You do the square root, right? So let's do the square root. So let's type in, and you could do this on your phone, the square root of 16,200. So second x squared, and this gives me about, to the nearest tenths, it's 127.3. So it is 127.3 feet. It's about, okay? All right, let's look at number 3. A suitcase measures, okay, and don't forget that a suitcase is like a rectangle. Suitcase measures 24 long and 18 high. So this is 24 long and 18 in height if you stand it up. What is the diagonal? So this is the diagonal. So again, this is a right triangle. C is missing. This is the slanted side opposite of the right angle. So you're going to use Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is A and this is B. So we're going to plug in. We got 18 here and you got 24 here. Okay? So now let's simplify. We got 18 squared, or 18 times 18. That's 324. Then you got 24 times 24, 24 squared. That's 576. 576. Okay? Add these together, okay? So that's going to be 324 plus 576. You see that? So that gives you 900. You see? So now the opposite of squaring a number to get C by itself is square root. So you have to find the square root of 900. That's second x squared 900. And that gives you 30. So this is 30. 30 times 30 gives you 900. Okay? All right, so now I want you to do these on your own. Okay, do these on your own. All right, so number 4, it says, in a computer catalog, the computer monitor is listed being 19 inches. The distance of the distance of the diagonal screen is across, oh, wait a minute. This distance is the diagonal distance of the screen. So if this is a TV, this is 19, okay? They said tailing, that's 19 inches. All right, if the screen measures 10 in height, so that means this way is 10, okay? What is the actual width? This is what's missing, the width, okay? So the triangle that you're actually looking at, you got the diagonal, 19. You got this part is 10. This is the side that's missing. A, B is missing. C, you have C. So you're going to do A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And you're going to substitute these numbers in. You have an A, that's 10, plus B you don't have, and C is 19. So simplify. 10 squared. 10 squared is 100. You see that? B squared equals, and do 19. You see that? 19 squared. 19 times 19. That's 361. I'm sorry, I was right. 361. Okay? So subtract the 100. And that gives you B squared is equal to 261. So then how do you find B, Miss Reyes? You're going to find the square root on both sides. Okay? So let's type in the square root of 261. Second x squared 261. And that gives you about 16.15 or 16.16 about. Okay? And it says to the nearest inch. So that's about 16 then. About 16. Because they don't want any decimal spaces. So it's about 16. Okay? All right. So it's about 16 really. All right. So I want you to do these three on your own. Draw it. See if you can come up with something. Okay? Do this on your own. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Make sure you put this on page 14 in your notebook. But do these on your own. Pause for the calls. Do these on your own, please. Don't forget one more clue. Sorry. The older floppy disk this is a floppy drive, okay? That used to be what they saved information on back in the day. But it's a rectangle shape. Measures 5 and 1/4 each side. So it's a perfect, it's a square. So each side is 5.25, or you can write it as 5 and 1/4, whichever way you want to write it. But each of the sides are that. Okay, 5.25, 5.25, 5.25, 5.25. Okay, what's the diagonal? Okay, so both A and B are the same, right? So you're using Pythagorean Theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And this is what your A and your B both are going to be. Okay, when you type that in, you type in 5.25 and you square it. You see that? And this is what you get when it's squared. Okay, and you're rounding it to the nearest tenths place. So this would be 27.6 would be for each. So 27.6. And then you solve it from there, okay? So don't forget 5.25 squared plus 5.25 squared is equal to C squared. Okay? And this is going to be 27.6 plus 27.6 C squared. Okay? Add it together and then find the square root. All right? Read 6 and 7 on your own. Don't forget when you're traveling, remember, don't forget north is up, south is down, to the right is east, and to the left is west. Okay? So north, south, east, west. All right? Make sure that when you finish, you paste this on page 14. Please don't lose it. If you don't have glue, put it in your folder. All right, so now we're in our interactive notebook, and this is going to be page, I forgot what page is 14. So we're still got quarter 4, page 14. Okay, this is called review. We're reviewing area. All right. So do not forget that the definition for area, this is super important, is the number of square units on a flat surface. The number of squares or square units on a flat surface. It's two-dimensional. That's why it's inches squared, centimeters squared. Okay, it's 2D. Okay, two-dimensional. Length, width, or the height in the base is two-dimensional. Okay, it's 2D. All right, so we have different formulas for the different shapes. So let's start off with basic shapes. Let's start off with a square. Okay, square. What we know about a square is that all the sides are equal. Okay, and they all form their four right angles. So this is where all sides are equal. All these sides are equal in measurement. Okay, all the sides are equal in measurement. So because all the sides are equal in get out the way, all the sides that are equal in measurement, you can use the same letter to represent each side, which is side. So instead of saying length times width, you can say side times side, or S, make this look like an S, to the second power. And your S here is side. Okay, that's what the S stands for. And the A stands for, of course, area. All right. And that'll tell you how many squares can fit in on this flat surface. You might, if you have 4 squares this way and 4 squares this way, then there's going to be a total of 16 squares in there. Okay. Let's do rectangle. Rectangle was where two of the lengths are the same, right? It's a four-sided figure where the lengths, how long it is on the top and the bottom, these have the same measure, and the sides have the same measure. So here, this is going to be length times width. So your formula for area of a rectangle is length times the width. Of course, again, the A stands for area, the L is length, and the W is width. Okay. All right. A parallelogram is another four-sided figure. Okay, it's another four-sided figure, and all right, it's slanted. Okay, though these two lengths right here have the same measure, and I'm gonna need to put one slash here and one slash here to indicate these two have the same, and two slashes here. They both have the same number of slashes, so they have the same measurement. They both have the same number of slashes, so these have the same measurement. Okay, so again, this has the same measurement as this. So if this is 2 centimeters, this is 2 centimeters. These have the same measurement. So if this is 4 centimeters, this would also be 4 centimeters, okay? The formula for finding area of a parallelogram, you see how this is a slanted line, so you can't use this measurement to figure out how many squares are in this because this line is slanted. You can't get a true height of how tall that parallelogram is, so you can't do that. So this is how this works. It's A is equal to base, the length of the base, times how tall the parallelogram is. So you have to know the height. So they're going to give you a line that's perpendicular to the ground. When you measure how tall something is, the ruler has to be straight up and down. You can't have a slanted ruler. So the formula for area, A is area again, of a parallelogram, is the length of the base. So this is lowercase, that's the length of the base, times how tall that parallelogram is, which is the height. That's the formula for area of a parallelogram. Okay? Now, keep in mind that a parallelogram, a rectangle can also be a parallel. You can say a parallel. Well, yeah, you can use a rectangle, but that's okay. I won't confuse you. All right, so let's do triangle now. Triangle is half of a parallelogram. You see, if I cut this parallelogram in half, it's going to be a triangle. You see, that's going to be two triangles. So, any triangle. So, The formula for area of a triangle is going to be half of a parallelogram. So that's 1/2 base, I'm going to put a dot, times height, okay? And I'm going to change this, instead of saying times, I'm going to use the x, I'm going to use a dot for multiplication. So if you cut any parallelogram in half, it's going to be two triangles. So the formula for area of a triangle is half of the formula for a parallelogram. So again, this is area, A is area, the B represents the base, and the H represents how tall the triangle is. So they're always going to give you, if it's not a right triangle, they'll tell you what the height of the triangle is. And this would be the height. From the top of the triangle to the base of the triangle is the height. It's not this length. This is not how tall it is, because it's not a straight ruler. The ruler has to be straight up and down. Okay? All right, so now the next one is a circle. All right? So let's do a circle. So a true circle has a center point. Okay? That means the center is the center of the circle is the point that is directly in the middle. That means each from the edge of the circle to the center of the circle is going to be the same measurement all the way around. Okay? This is the same measurement as this, is this, is this, is this. All of these have the same length. That halfway through the center of the circle is called the radius. So if this line goes halfway through, this is called your radius. That's the distance from the center to the edge. That's called your radius. If it goes all the way through the circle, that's called your diameter. Okay? All the way through is the diameter. Okay? So if your radius is equal to 5, the diameter has to be 10. Okay? That's if. If your diameter is 12, then your radius is half of that, which is 6. Okay? This is if. Okay? All right. So now let's do formula for area of a circle. Your formula for area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, so you use the radius. If they give you the diameter, you got to find the radius, okay? Because there's no formula for diameter there's no formula. Because they use radius to find the area of a circle, not diameter, okay? So this is pi. The decimal for pi, or about, because remember, pi is an irrational number, it never stops. So use this rounded number 3 and 1400ths. Or you can use the fraction about, remember it's not exact, it's 22/7. Okay, so this is the rounded answer for pi. Remember, there's no true, pi continues without n, but if we had to round it, this is what we would use. Okay, all right. So this is my area, this A, that's pi, and this is the R represents the radius, which is half of the diameter. It goes from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle, okay? If they give you the diameter, then cut the diameter in half to figure out what the radius is. All right, and so those are your area formulas. Please make sure that you get all of those. Make sure you get all of those down. All right. So now I want you to take out this sheet. I want you to work on this. Don't forget. So you're going to show your work on the back, and you're going to submit this on Canvas. So this is number 1. This is a rectangle. So on the back of your paper, number 1, you're going to put rectangle. The formula, look at what I gave you. The formula for rectangle is A is equal to length times width. So let's look at the front. Your length is 11 and your width is 6. So it's 11 times 6. So we got A is equal to 11 times 6. So that means when you type this in, you should get 66. And it's meters. So I should have put meters. So meters times meters is meters to the second power. So this is 66. On this front, you put 66 meters to the second. And now you're going to do circle. You're going to do, and so you're showing your work. You're putting it on the back. Don't forget to use these formulas to solve the problems that are on the front. Again, this is a rectangle. So you're going to use the formula for rectangle. This is a circle. This is a triangle, parallelogram, a square, all the sides are equal, a circle. This is a triangle, a parallelogram, a rectangle, a circle, a square, and a parallelogram. Okay? All right. Please make sure you finish all of this, show your work on the back, take a picture of it, and submit it on Canvas. I hope you all have a wonderful and fabulous day. Bye. Please be well. Be well.